Let's see, are we live?
Okay.
Nice. All right, welcome to another episode of Prolific Thinking. I am your host, Mr. Prolific. I'm here with Fantasy Guy Ryan for a whole new segment. Fantasy Guy Ryan's. We're gonna be covering fantasy football topics. We'll be doing lots of mock drafts over the next few weeks to get you ready for your fantasy season, if there is one. We'll be starting today off with just that topic. We're gonna be talking about whether or not there's going to be a fantasy season. We're going to be talking about the current state of the NFL season and try to help you prepare for any upcoming fantasy football draft, whether it's a standard or a dynasty, as well as maybe offer you guys some alternatives on how you can still get your fantasy fix, even if there is no traditional fantasy football league as you're used to. So, how are you doing today, Ryan?
Doing good, man. I'm excited. It should be fun.
I heard there was some pretty big news going on in the NFL today where I think the NFL just announced that players now have the ability to opt out of the season altogether. Very similar to what we're seeing in the MLB. I think Clayton Kershaw was one in the MLB who wants to opt out. No, David Price. David Price in the MLB, as well as multiple players in the NBA for the upstart. In the NBA season, there's multiple players opting out for the startup, and now the NFL is giving players the ability to opt out for the entire season. Obviously, this has implications across the board, not just for your own personal favorite team, but for fantasy as well. Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
I mean, it makes it very difficult. Obviously, it's going to be a tough year because all of a sudden, top guy on everyone's board, Christian McCaffrey, decides he's not going to play after someone's already started a draft, and other implications with this is we don't know what the rules are going to be and what things are going to be from state to state. And with COVID, you could have guys getting, all of a sudden they do a COVID test before it and he's out for however long, depending on what happens. So it's going to be very interesting between the opt-outs and everything else. It's going to make it difficult to draft.
Absolutely. I mean, this is all speculation at this point. It's anyone's guess as to what's going to happen.
Yep.
I'm in the same boat with you are. I feel like it's really hard to plan for a fantasy season at this point until we find out more information. We could be seeing some really big names potentially opting out right before a fantasy draft happens. For you, like some of the big names score. Like what if, like God forbid, Pat Mahomes opts out, or like an Aaron Rodgers or Julio Jones opts out? That's going to throw a huge monkey wrench into the draft rankings, any big boards, and that's just in a standard league, like a redraft league. If you're in a dynasty league, holy cow, what if like half your dynasty team opts out this year? Like what are you gonna do? Like it's gonna be really tough to navigate through these waters for any upcoming fantasy season until we get some more information. What does your gut tell you right now? Do you think there's gonna be an NFL season?
My gut says yes, only because of the fact that it's the NFL. They're trying to get things in. I know obviously the NBA and the MLB and all those guys, they've been working kind of stunk because it came right in the middle of their season, where at least the NFL has had some time to kind of plan for things and work some stuff out before the season actually starts. My gut tells me yes. The NFL is a moneymaker. It's a big time. So, but I don't know. A lot can change here in the next month and a half. So,
do you think there's gonna be fans in all stadiums, or do you think it's gonna be a team by team basis?
I hope it's not a team-by-team basis, only because I feel like even though if you're not packing a stadium full, that home field advantage isn't going to be as big as it would be, no matter what happens this year, I don't think, because the crowd noise isn't going to be as bad. But I just don't think it's a fair advantage for a team that can't have any fans and that a different state allows fans, especially me being a Bills fan. Governor Cuomo's already said that here in New York, there's not going to be any fans in the stands. He's already made that statement. Could that change?
Absolutely.
Depending on what happens, possibly. But right now, at the moment, it's a no for sure. So
that's crazy. Like, just take your division rivals. The Patriots or the Jets or the Dolphins. They come to Orchard Park. There's really not much of a home field advantage for Buffalo going forward without the fans. It's basically going to be like free reign on the calls. There's going to be no silent calls. You'll be able to audible freely. make all the adjustments to the line. Everyone's gonna be able to hear everything. But then if you go to like Foxborough, you go down to Miami, and there's fans the same. Even if it's a socially distanced stadium, you're still going to get some noise going.
Yep.
I'm sure the NFL will allow a team like Buffalo to probably pump in crowd noise to really get the speakers going. However, how much they're allowed to probably pump that in might be capped. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see regardless. And that's certainly a dynamic I'm going to be paying attention to going forward in the next few weeks. I do know, being the Packer fan that I am, the Packers Express sent out emails to all the season ticket holders, just letting them know that they can basically get a refund on their tickets if they want, or like push them to next year. But I do know they're giving them first priority for everything. It's just kind of like a mess right now with what's going on.
Well, and something else that we should discuss on this thing too is on this topic is New York State with their quarantining rules and regulations right now. So if you travel to a state that they've deemed a high risk, essentially, I think there's 14 of them now. Mm-hmm. You have to quarantine yourself for 14 days when you come back to the state. So how is that going to work, and how's the NFL going to work out the scheduling with that?
That's a great question.
Right now that it's very, very difficult.
I feel like they would possibly allow like an exemption for the athletes where they don't have to do that. But at the same time, if you do it for them, shouldn't you technically do it for everyone?
Correct.
It creates a conundrum. Yep. And I was thinking about that earlier, like for you as well. I also live in New York, even though I'm a Packer fan. What if like the LA Rams come to play Buffalo? I don't know what Buffalo's schedule is, but I'm sure you're playing some teams that Governor Cuomo has on the travel ban for the mandatory quarantine. Like, you got quarantine for 14 days. You can't be sitting around for 14 days waiting to play the Buffalo Bills. Like, do they forfeit the game? Do they scratch that? Do they fill in elsewhere? I mean, it's a fluid situation.
Or do they change the schedules where all of a sudden those teams that were going to have to quarantine, all of a sudden they take the Bills and they play them at their stadium, and then teams that aren't coming from one of those states come to Buffalo? I mean, it's just, who knows? I don't know.
And there's also that dynamic going on right now where if you get COVID, everyone that you come in contact with is supposed to go into a self-quarantine as well. So we're talking if one NFL player on a team, because you're sharing a locker room with all the boys, one player on a team gets COVID in the middle of the season, what does that mean? Like, are you going to make the entire team go on a 2-week shutdown and basically cancel the games that they're like? I don't know, man.
I don't know. And that's why, and going back to our original topic from the fantasy standpoint, how do you draft? Because there's so many variables. So many.
I mean, and then there's I think the consensus out there is McCaffrey's had just about a previous year for the ages. He's pretty much the consensus number one pick.
I agree.
And then probably followed by like a Saquon Barkley or probably Barkley, I guess, I think is what most mocks have him going. But there's a little variance after two based on your preference. But I think I did read that Zeke Elliott just got COVID, which means he's going to have gone through that by the time your draft comes up. Do you do you think that bumps the value of like Zeke up more because he already had it and you don't got to worry about him getting it in the middle of a season now? So if you're sitting there at like 2 or 3, do you take Zeke over like Barkley then, or Kamara, or whoever else is up there? Maybe because you know he might be there for you for the whole season potentially, unless someone on his offensive line catches it or something like that, and then he's got to go quarantine. I mean, who knows?
Who knows? That's it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen at this point?
Do you think there's any chance of a shortened season, and what it might look like?
Uh, we all hope not, obviously.
Nope.
But
Nobody more than the NFL owners, but
yep, yeah, exactly. I do, and I only say that they've already shortened the preseason. So, and they haven't really said anything about the regular season, that at least not that much yet.
Mhm.
I haven't done a ton of research into what's come out, but I know that it's been very little and there hasn't been anything major. Otherwise, I definitely would have heard about it at this point. So,
yeah,
but I do, and like you just talked about, and like we just talked about, what happens if a team gets it? What happens, and then you're going to have a shortened season essentially if you have to cancel those games for those guys. Or do we have an extended season where all of a sudden, okay, this team gets shut down, or we're going to play one game every couple weeks. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
there could be so many different things that happen. Although those northern teams, those boys are really going to be playing in winter weather if they really extend it.
For sure. So this is everything speculation, as I said, guys, because your guess is as good
we're
as
just
mine,
Nobody
and we're
knows.
just talking, we're just shooting the shit right now with each other, and we're just having a conversation. So, a rumor I've heard in terms of for like high school sports is some school districts and communities are thinking of potentially moving fall sports to the spring.
Yes.
Now football is a fall sport. Do you think we could the NFL could come up with a means of potentially pushing a NFL season to the spring? Now, maybe not a full season, but like maybe even a shortened season, moving it to the spring, doing something similar like what the XFL did, where they operate in the spring. The NFL might have to work in conjunction with the NFL draft and have it overlap. Like we could be in the middle of a season in the spring, and then do the draft. But then at the same time, you're asking a whole lot of the players because they're going to be playing in the spring. They're going to have virtually no time off by playing in the spring, and then to go back to a fall season again. I mean, it's like going to be a straight transition from spring football to fall football to try to get back to normal. I think that's the biggest hurdle right there. Is there would be no off season between this season and next year, so.
Yeah, essentially for those guys, I mean, like you said, there'd be no off season. So how would you do it? Would you maybe do a shortened spring season like you talked about, have a couple months off, and then have a shortened fall season that year, and then go back to regular the next year? I mean, they're all options, but I mean, we all want football.
Could you even see like a scenario where, because the travel bans and because of just all the protocols and regulations going on now within the division is usually pretty close. Like the teams operate within close proximity, except for for you, Miami's kind of way off down south and whatnot. And but just something like a really shortened season where you really only play your division and you just basically crown like a division champ that year. Like maybe you forego the playoffs and there's not really like a Super Bowl, but
or maybe do you crown a division champ so you play a certain amount of games in your division, whatever they deem it, whether it be the 8 games, you can just do, you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
And then so you do just your division, and then all of a sudden the winner of the division in each division makes the playoffs, okay, like normal, and you forego a wild card or something, and then you have a playoff that way.
You could do So say you play each division twice. So there's 6. There's a 6-game season there. All right.
Yep.
You play all division, right? You play your division, and just your division, no one else, and which makes it 4 from the NFC and 4 from the AFC, and there's your playoffs.
Yep.
So you basically start in the divisional round of the playoffs just with the divisional champs, and it's a shortened season, and maybe you even push that to so you can, by doing that, you can push the NFL season back to November or so. You skip out in September, October, you play your regular season in November and October, and then you can still have a normal-ish kind of playoffs with just those 8 total teams. I mean, I could see something like that. Now I know the owners and the fans and maybe even some of the players are gonna push back on that because again, sports is money, and
Right.
everyone's gonna be losing out. It's kind of like a lose-lose, but at least we're still getting an NFL season in at that point while still kind of working in the umbrella of it.
And then here's the other thing: we just talked sports is money. So now all of a sudden we get into the fact of having a shortened season. Now you're going to run into the same thing that the NHL, NBA, MLB all ran into, where the Players Association and the owners have to find out what they're going to do for contracts and how they're going to pay the players. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you're talking you might not see a season at all.
Yep. So the way the NFL contracts are structured is, I mean, like this is why this is going to be something I think going forward that is going to be used against players when they want completely guaranteed contracts. So if there's no NFL season this year, a guy like Kirk Cousins is golden. His entire contract is guaranteed. So if there's no season, he makes like $30 million guaranteed. He doesn't miss out on anything. Whereas like everyone else's contract is all there's all escalators in there, and it's all incentives based on playing time, performance, stats, accolades. So if you take that away, the players are really only going to get the guaranteed money that they have. And for someone who's playing on like those young guys playing on like the vet minimums and stuff, those contracts are not guaranteed. So they're not making hardly any money. So it's definitely something to think about. Everyone watching at home, as I said, this is completely speculative. I encourage you to comment on everything we're talking about. I want to hear what your thoughts are, what your opinions are. Is anything we're saying making any sense, or are we completely out of our gourd? Like, are we coming up with some good ideas? Does it make sense or does not make sense? And what are your thoughts and opinions? I would love to go through every single one of your comments and read what you have to say, and maybe my own opinion will change by reading what some of you come up with at home. So certainly comment on that, and I would appreciate that. So going forward, Ryan, another thing I will be doing throughout the season is Fantasy Ryan is going to be basically my go-to guy for all fantasy news and updates throughout the season, if there is one. Me and Ryan have been in a fantasy league for going on over 10 years now. Yep, we've been in a fantasy league that started off as just kind of like a basic 8-man league, and it kind of transitioned into the 12-team league that we're in now. Every year, it's a highly competitive league. Some big money in it as well. There's a whole committee. Both me and Ryan are 2 of 4 that are on a committee that basically oversees all the rulings and the rule changes. And every year we, just like the NFL and the coaches meetings and the GM meetings that they do down in like Florida stuff every year, we do the same thing where we go in and we discuss what worked and what didn't work, how can we make our league better, what rule changes we should do. And it's an ever-evolving concept, just like the NFL is. With that being said, we just capped off our 10th season. I happen to take home the trophy this year. This is my first back-to-back championship that I've had. I am the first ever back-to-back champion in our league, and I have also won 3 of the last 4 years. Prior to that, in the first 5 years, Fantasy Ryan over here has been Mr. Dominant, though. He's been the one.
I still own the only undefeated season with the championship. Just want to make that known.
Yep. So any fantasy advice you were getting from either of us is pretty sound and solid, I would say. You can come to us with any fantasy questions or opinions. We will do our best to answer them with that we would treat like our own fantasy team. And yeah. So
I happen to have I just want to share this real quick. I have a birthday coming up. I received this. You can't really see it in there, but
here we go, Mr. Ryan.
It's our boy over there kissing the fantasy trophy, and he gave me a nice autograph thing and told me happy 30th birthday and reminded me of how bad he's beat me. And this is just my reminder. Not this year, buddy.
So if we have any fans of the league, that FX TV show that was based around fantasy football, this is our Kamama here.
Yes.
Donated to us by another league member, and it's kind of evolved into this. And it's highly sought after.
Yes, it is.
Highly sought after. If there is no fantasy football season, if there is no football season this year, which I hope, as much as I love this girl, I hope there is. But if there isn't, I will be looking forward to having her for a third straight year. So, with that being said, go ahead.
I said we'll figure something out. We'll have to have a fantasy season of something else. I got a nice spot in my house that trophy belongs on, so just saying.
With that being said, we will transition to our second part, which is what you guys will find very entertaining. And for many of you, this is probably what you were clicking on the video to watch. Over the next few podcasts that I do with Fantasy Ryan, we are going to be doing some mock draft simulations. Each time we do one, we're going to be doing a different strategy. We're going to be picking from different spots. Sometimes we'll go from slot 1 or maybe middle of the rounds, or at the end. We'll do 8-team drafts, 10-team drafts, 12-team drafts. We'll try to do it all. We'll go with the no running back strategy sometimes, the running back heavy strategy sometimes. Sometimes I'll take over and I'll do the even rounds or the odd rounds, and Ryan will do the other ones. Sometimes we'll collaborate. So the possibilities for us to do mock draft simulations are endless. I'm looking forward to this, Ryan, because both of us seem to have done very well for ourselves in fantasy football over the last decade, but we have never really collaborated too much on anything. We just kind of we have some similar opinions on players, I feel like, over the years, but we've also have made it work, and we've been successful with different ideologies and thinking. So I'm interested to see how we come up with this. So I think probably for our first one that we do together, it probably is best just kind of we'll do random, so we don't know what spot we're gonna be picking in. We'll be going with a traditional 12 team. I think that's what most people play in these days, is the 12 team.
PPR, correct?
Yep, PPR is pretty much with that. And I think we'll collaborate together. We'll just kind of bounce around ideas. We'll see who's on the board. We'll kind of go with we won't go in with any predefined strategy. We're no running back heavy or no wide receiver heavy or no running backs. We're just gonna go with who we feel like is gonna give us the best bang where we're at. So Ryan, you ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's see what lobby we can get in here. All right, Ryan, you seen the screen from where I'm at?
Yep, I got you.
All right, so how about an Atlanta 12 team PPR mock?
Here we go.
Join this league. Success.
Oh, looks like we're
it puts us at number 1. You want to go with number 1? Or you want to just do something a little different?
I mean, I'll leave that up to you.
I mean, number one. I'm gonna guess McCaffrey's probably gonna be our pick at number 1. So
yeah. Let's do something different for the first one. Let's go with put us in the middle somewhere. Let's get interesting.
How about we do it? Yeah, let's do right in the middle. We'll do number 6. That way we get a chance to see kind of who falls to us in the first few picks. Now this is gonna be interesting because I have not done any mock drafts yet this year. This is literally my first one of 2020.
Same here. I have not done any, and I have really not done any research at all on who I really
not much.
What I'm looking for. So this is just winging it.
I haven't even looked at any of the big board or the pre-draft rankings, so I don't even know where some of these rookies are ranked. I am literally going into this cold turkey. So this should be very interesting to see how this turns out for us.
And it should be interesting to see how things start to change too as we do more and we start to get a little bit of strategy, if you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm. All right, I like this. It looks like we're going to be drafting with a full lobby. So one of the things I
Let's
really
just
hate
hope they
about
all
these,
stay. Let's hope they all stay.
that's one I was
Let's
just
go
going
into
to say,
auto draft.
that's one of the things I hate is when you get into these mock draft lobbies and like, by the time the third round comes around, they're all on auto draft, I
Yep.
really, we're going to have some people who leave after the first few rounds.
Yep.
But I really appreciate the guys who really stick it out until the end. And
or at least,
really,
maybe not the total end, but at least get you to the last, 3 rounds or so where, the normal strategy of you're playing defenses and kickers and stuff, and you're picking people like that.
All right, here we go. Maybe.
Oh.
We're waiting. Maybe not.
Okay.
Number 6. So who do you think might even be there at number 6 then? So.
I mean, it depends on how things go because every once in a while you'll have some people go throw a wide receiver in there early, drop one of those high running backs to you.
Yeah, I think at 6 we're going to probably be starting to see like some of the elite running backs can be off the board.
Yep.
We can either probably go for like a tier 2 running back, or we can still probably get one of the like tier 1 wide receivers. I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
That would be my guess. Is one of those top elite receivers will be there for us. Now, is it going to let us draft, or
we reload it and see what happens? All right, not yet. Okay, there's a 3-minute window for when the draft time on this page and when the draft picture starts. So
okay,
should have some time then.
Well, just normally it tells you enter the draft basically, and you kind of get in there.
Yeah.
But
let's see here. All right, guys, let me try this. I'm going to stop the share here real quick. All right, here we go. I paused it real quick, you guys, just so I could figure out some technical difficulties, but it looks like we are back. So now I am sharing the screen. Ryan, can you see that now?
Yes, I can. That looks better. That looks more like the draft room I'm used to seeing.
Yes, it does. All right.
So let's just look at what they got right now for the pre-draft rankings here.
So, of course, we got McCaffrey right off the bat.
Yeah. Barkley, like we said, Elliott, Kamara.
All right, Dalvin, Devontae Hopkins. It's interesting they have Hopkins below Adams with I don't know. I think Hopkins might ball out with
Is it the unknown? Is it the unknown of what's going to happen?
It might be. I guess I could see that.
I could see that. That's why. Yep. Look at Kenyon Drake up there at number 50.
He did ball out when after that trade. He really did. But it's gonna be
really cool because in our dynasty league, I picked him up right before the trade when they talked about him possibly getting traded, and he didn't get traded yet. And I dropped him right before he got traded, and then we all know what happened after that. I didn't get him back.
Very interesting. Wow. All right, so our top QBs are sitting around 31, 32. Those two will not be sitting there at 31, 32. There's always a team that's gonna jump the gun on them a little bit earlier. Yep. So, who's our first young rookie out here? Let's see. Wow, they got the KC running back being the first one on their pre-draft rankings. That's interesting.
No, I mean, if he carries a full load, that's going to be a big role. He's going to put up a ton of points.
Man, look at some of these players who were just taken like back end of the first round, early second round last year.
Yep. Look at how far they've fallen.
Gurley, Johnson, Bell,
Gordon's another one. He's another one who's going to be interesting only because of how well Philip Lindsay's done there in the last couple of years. I mean, is he gonna steal carries? Is Lindsay just gonna get bumped out? Are they gonna trade him? Is he gonna take the full load?
And then also, what about Royce Freeman? Is he just done?
Right.
Like,
Is
is he
he done?
just?
Is
Is he
it-
like they
it's
use
like-
they use a pretty high draft pick on Royce Freeman, and he wasn't terrible. But, all right, here we go.
That's some sound there. Yeah, is he like the Booker of their team now? Because they did the
He
same
might
thing.
be. He
So-
might be. All right, as expected, McCaffrey and Barkley go 1-2. I think after this, you can start making some debates for different players.
I would say Zeke would be my number 3 personally.
Kamara was a little bit of a disappointment last year. I thought he was really going to take over last year with Mark Ingram being gone, but kind of had some trouble. But
He had the thing is they ended up picking up Murray, and he
Yeah.
kind of played.
He played pretty good too. He killed
played
admirably.
He played like the same role that Ingram did, which took
Yeah.
carries and stuff away from Kamara again. So,
I think I had him for most of the season. He filled in as a solid flex for me for most of the season.
and that makes me believe that maybe they don't know if Kamara can handle that full workload, even though he did
Maybe
for those games when Ingram was out, those times. But
Yeah. Now I think Latavius should be back again next year, correct?
Yeah,
He's still,
I think so. I think he's still under contract with them.
All right. So board's fallen as predicted so far. So we're gonna have. So
I mean, Cook did have a good year. Do you want to take that back end, middle of the road RB1?
he's had a little bit of some injury concerns, but when he's been healthy, he has been dominant. And there's also with Stephon Diggs gone. It's interesting to see. I mean, it could go both ways. It could be teams now. There's one less playmaker on that offense, but they did just get Justin Jefferson, that rookie. Who knows what he's going to do? Cook's on the board. We're looking at Cook, Adams, Hopkins, Jones, Hill, Henry, or Jones as our top picks. You feeling running back or are you feeling receiver?
Oh, man. This is tough. If you don't go with Cook here, what are you looking at like a running back? You got a possibility of Derrick Henry probably.
We're kind of looking at maybe a Mixon, maybe an Eckler, or those like later end dudes. So I think we should go running back, man.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Cook it is.
Cook it is.
We got ourselves a running back.
Like you said, when he's healthy, he's an animal, man.
He
And
is.
that offense is such a run-heavy offense, and it's probably going to be more now. But
Now he is holding out though, so it could play into it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he is holding out, but we could be looking at maybe we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit on this. But this is why we do these mock drafts,
But also, right now, let's just play this as if the NFL season was going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
all right. I'm
most of you,
not unhappy with it.
no, me neither. And for most of you that draft, you probably do your drafts a week, maybe 2 at the most before the season starts. So you're going to have a lot better idea of Cook and his situation coming into the season, which will definitely drop him down the draft board if he's still not old or if he's still old.
All right, well, Henry went a little bit earlier than his projected ranking. So far, it's been the only surprise. We're at pick 19 coming up again here. So around 19, we are looking at an Eckler, Mixon, Kelsey, Josh Jacobs, Kenny Galladay, a DJ Moore. It depends. We're not going with a solid strategy here, like a running back heavy or receiver heavy. We're just kind of like going with our gut kind of on this one and kind of throwing some darts and seeing what happens. Can never go wrong with the running backs, but if there's a good receiver on the board, I mean, I'm not going to be opposed to taking him either. Or even Kelsey, man.
Yeah.
Kelsey's never really had a bad season, and it's really nice to have that tight end matchup every week against your opponent. I mean, he's just about as as guaranteed gets. So
Just about as guaranteed as one of your top receivers. So you might as well call him
absolutely,
a receiver. You know,
I would
that's just the way he's been.
I would not be opposed to taking a Travis Kelce here at the time and just get and not even having to worry about tight end the rest of our
Nope.
draft.
Normally, it all depends. I've done so many different strategies. Like last year, I decided I wanted to go tight end kind of early, second, third round, if Kelce or who was my other one that I was looking at. I think it was Ertz at the time because he was kind of high on my board.
You can't go wrong with Ertz either.
No.
A little bit of a slow start last year, but he picked it up towards the end.
Came on at the end, but that slow start hurt me.
Yep. Boy, I'm looking there at 26. Someone like Juju Smith-Schuster. He had a terrible year last year with Antonio Brown finally gone. Now I know Big Ben wasn't there, but for the first time in his career, he started getting them number one corners on him. I mean, is that
Juju was very high on my board last year. I took him in one of my leagues.
He was very high on lots of people's boards.
Yep.
So we got team lead, but next team is going to be auto draft. So we know that Mike Evans will not be falling to us. But we are looking at no worse than a Miles Sanders or a Kelce would still be at Miles Sanders is there. You want to go? Sanders was admirable last year, and Jordan Howard is gone now.
Yeah, I was just going to say Jordan Howard's down in Miami now. So
you want to go with another running back? You want to go with the Kelce? Our best running back or our best receivers are Galladay, Moore, and Robinson and Thielen.
How is Robinson number 24?
I don't know. Thielen doesn't have Diggs to take away targets anymore. But
I mean, you also have a Josh Jacobs sitting there who could have a very good year as well.
Yeah, he could come on. Wait, running back or
just go.
We'll try Josh Jacobs. Yeah. We'll see it. Hey, we got our running backs there. We got Jacobs and Cook, and
so essentially we just went running back heavy. So you know, it's kind of playing that running back early strategy at this point.
We're picking around 30. We're gonna probably hope that some receivers fall to us. Around 30, we're looking at if you want to go early on a quarterback, maybe there's a chance we could get a Jackson or Mahomes. There's some good running backs on the board when we're projected to come around.
There's also some good receivers coming down there too.
Oh yeah, so we got backup. We got OBJ, AJ Brown, who looked really good last year. Robert Woods is consistent.
Yep.
Super consistent. You know what you're going to get with him. Cooper Kupp is amazing when he's healthy.
Yep.
Calvin Ridley's gotten better each and every year. And then there's your boy Zach Ertz. He's always consistent, just that notch right below.
You got Keenan Allen. He could be a little bit of a wild card though with Philip Rivers gone.
You never know what he's going to get. What you're going to get with him, but I think Cream rises to the top, and Keenan Allen's still going to get his.
Oh yeah, he's solid. Here's the other thing that you got to think about in that situation. Now that we've scrolled down and looked a little bit more, and I was paying more of attention, you do have those Todd Gurley's and David Johnsons and possibility of your
like a flex.
Yeah. For like a second running back, I'm saying if you would have went receiver there, although I didn't really love the receivers we had other than a Thielen.
Hey, we're gonna get an early receiver.
We're gonna get them anyway.
Potentially. So Bell's on the clock. We're up next. We're looking at even if he takes a receiver here, we're looking at two of these next three receivers to be on the board, either Thielen, Schuster, or Cooper.
Yep. And I think
or do you go with a quarterback? You go with one of these young quarterbacks. So Mahomes just went off the board, man.
And he just went. Honestly, I mean, Lamar Jackson is a stud, and he puts up some serious points.
We won't get him if we pass on him here.
Oh no, definitely not.
It's tempting. It's tempting. Now if
you don't take him, I feel you got to play the weight strategy possibly. I mean,
I usually do play the weight strategy, but
so do I usually.
There's some good receivers on the board though, man.
Yeah, I think you got to take one of those three.
Yeah.
Thielen has no Diggs. Cooper is gonna be Cooper.
I'm gonna take Thielen because I think that without Diggs, he's gonna get some catches. I think so.
Although, like you said, now you got the more of that number one corner, where before they had to make a
I
choice.
don't know. So I'll have to go back and look at some tape, but I think Thielen always got the number one corner on him.
Maybe.
Now I know you're a Bills fan. You're super jacked about Diggs,
I am
and he is the clear cut number one. But I don't think that Diggs always had the number one receiver on him in Minnesota. I think teams flip flopped a little bit.
That's what I was saying. I wouldn't say he always did, but I feel like they had to make a choice. You know what I mean? They had to make a choice. Where now it's Thielen and who's a receiver?
Thielen and Justin Jefferson, their rookie that they drafted.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
They drafted him. All right, so.
Well, all right, so.
Receivers and running backs.
Boy, we're still looking at some good receivers coming to us potentially at this next pick here. As well as we could get Ertz, we could get our tight ends.
You're looking at a very balanced draft right now if we go to receiver.
Yeah, we're going pretty balanced right now.
How about Parker's year last year?
Parker,
pretty good year. Devontae?
There's not much difference. There's not much change there. Potentially even an upgrade at quarterback. So, wow, it's surprising seeing a guy like James Conner falling all the way at 52. He was
we kind of. Didn't Pittsburgh draft a running back? I can't remember.
Let's see, Pittsburgh.
And no one it's just got Jalen Sam.
Anthony McFarland. He's got to be a rookie. So.
Yeah.
All right, who are we looking at here?
Man, you got a Le'Veon Bell still sitting there. Who knows what happens if?
Now these rankings are going to be changing by the time
absolutely
the big time draft's going to be coming around. So it'll be good that we keep up with it. Let's see. Here we go. All right.
I was really hoping AJ Brown would be there because I was been all over AJ.
Oh boy, let's see. There's still some really good players on this board.
Absolutely.
Ridley, Kupp, Ertz, Allen, T.Y. Hilton. I love me some T.Y. Hilton.
I know you do.
Jarvis. I think he'll be better with another year in Cleveland. DJ Chark is up and coming.
I love Cooper Kupp too. I mean, he has some injury issues, but
you know what?
I'd say go receiver. Go
another receiver.
Yeah.
We'll go Ridley. I just like that offense.
Yep.
He really likes to spread around.
And now you got Gurley in that offense now too.
Ooh, that's going to be opening up the pass even more. Yeah. And God forbid something happens to Julio, Calvin Ridley's going to eat.
Correct.
He's going to eat.
No doubt.
All right. What are we looking at for tight ends? Because we know we're probably not going to be getting Zach Ertz. But, wow. Okay, there's still some really good tight ends.
I was going to say, you got
Andrews, Darren Waller, who balled out. I mean, I'm surprised to see Gronkowski so
got
high.
The Gronk, he's down there. I'm not surprised because he's old and he took a season off and no one knows what's going to happen, really. I mean,
nobody knows, but
I know. I get it. It's Gronk. I get it. It's Gronk.
You know, they still. I mean, they haven't traded. What's his name?
O.J. Howard.
Yeah, they haven't traded O.J. Howard. I mean, he's still there. I don't know. Does Gronk start over O.J. Howard?
Honestly, Gronk taking a year off could be the best thing or the worst thing for him. All depends on what he did to himself.
Yeah, I guess. He lost a lot of weight.
So
now he's got to put it all back on again. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Oh, wow. Hey, Stephon Diggs. He could be on the board.
Ooh,
still.
Baby. I am kind of partial to my boy Diggs.
Now, I know for a fact that when we do our own personal fantasy draft, Stephon Diggs ain't going to be sitting there on the board.
Which means I will not be taking him because I'm not taking him that early. It's just not happening.
Yeah. Too many Bills fans in our league. Evan Singletary, is he going to do something this year? I mean, he's going to ball out even more?
I'm afraid of Zach Moore. Not afraid. I'm pumped about it, but I feel like he's going to get a lot of those goal line carries, so the scoring might not be there. I mean, he's definitely going to get some receptions. It's going to be your typical they're gonna.
Well, he just went, so he's not even an option. So Jarvis Landry is on the board right now. Devontae Parker, DK Metcalf, Tyler Boyd.
Metcalf. I mean, there's a lot of good receivers on that board still.
And then our tight ends are Waller and Andrews. Or we can our running backs will be David Montgomery, Kareem Hunt, Tariq Cohen, Cam Akers, Keyshawn Vaughn, Kerryon. I think the running back crop's getting a little bit small at the moment.
Yeah, it is getting a little bit slim already, isn't it?
You want to think about running back then?
Yeah, better go one. Maybe Kareem.
Kareem?
Just don't like Montgomery.
All right. Yeah. So Kareem, I know. Chubb is there. I don't think Chubb's going anywhere anytime soon. But I think that you saw that they both work very well together. And Kareem Hunt caught some passes.
And right now,
and in a PPR, that can work.
That can work. And the biggest thing that I'm thinking there is, you got to Kerryon Johnson. I didn't see him. He's coming back up.
Stephon Diggs is falling, man. I mean, he's not going to be there when we're there, but we're coming up at 67. Stephon Diggs is still there. Oh, he is still on the board. Stephon Diggs fell to 57. I mean,
partially for me, I'd probably take him. He is the true number one in Buffalo for sure. I mean, John Brown is. I love me some John Brown too, but.
Let's go. I mean, I think it's value. I think that's a lot of value. We should go with Diggs. That's a lot of value.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep. So
that's a pretty solid.
So we can probably flip-flop the Diggs and Hunt for the flex based on matchups going forward.
Matchups, yep. So you play your matchups there, and that's the other thing too. You've got your two. You've got Cook and you've got Jacobs. So chances are.
Let's start. Now is about the time where we kind of got. We can either keep building our depth at running back and receiver, or we can start looking at some of our other skill positions like tight ends or quarterbacks. So for tight ends, we're looking at Higbee, Gronk, Hunter Henry, Jared Cook, Fant, Hawkinson. Now the thing with tight ends, there's always
Gronk too. The thing with Gronk too this year, in my opinion, is they've got tons of weapons. Godwin,
a lot of mouths to feed.
You know what I mean? Like just tons, tons of mouths to feed.
Wow. Okay, this is the first time I've actually looked at the rankings. As you said, I am, for lack of a better term, I am fucking blown away that they have Aaron Rodgers down below guys like Wentz,
cow,
Allen, Brees, Stafford. He's below Stafford. Are you fucking serious? Wow. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
How is he below Stafford? That's all I want to know. That's definitely Anyway, what about Kerryon Johnson? I mean,
is he still there?
Depth, like you said.
Is he still there?
He's still there.
Wait, I don't see Kerryon.
You don't see him?
Oh yeah, I see him. He's right there. Oh man, that's not.
Who else?
That could be. You know what? That could be some. That
could be some value. You know, I mean.
And you can never have enough good. You never have enough running backs, man.
You got to try and.
And he's fallen. There's value. I'm surprised they got till.
What's going on in LA too for the Rams?
I think they're going committee, but someone could break through. If you can find the guy that breaks through, it'd be good.
No.
Kerryon's there. So if we pass on him, what other running backs are we looking at going forward? Well,
there's
Mac.
My boy Zach Moss.
Zach Moss, Breida, Murray.
Mac. Ooh.
I don't know. I'm looking at just running backs. Stop on the board here.
See what else we got. How much time we got?
15 seconds. Quarterbacks. Maybe we can wait on quarterbacks. So tight ends. Higbee, Gronk, Hunter.
Better take a carry.
Let's take Kerryon. You know what? We feel a little bit better about death now. So let me move this chat box out of the way. Are you seeing this chat box too? The screen share? The thumbnails of us? So you can't see the bench? Do I got to move
it? I've been moving my thumbnail around.
Okay. So Diggs, our bench is Diggs and Kerryon. So we got ourselves
a solid bench. And I mean, and you're going to run your Diggs, Kerryon, and Hunt playing matchups in that flex essentially is what you're going to do. You know who was pretty disappointing last year as well? Tevin Coleman.
A little bit. I think he was battling some injuries though, but
Yeah, I understand that, but the
he could have
problem
a
is,
bounce back here.
well, he could, but there's a big committee there. You never
Yeah.
know. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like him.
All right. Who are we looking at? Crowder, J.K. Dobbins, Damian Tevin Coleman, Sterling Shepard,
You're
Christian.
looking at it quarterback right now. Did any of those guys come off, or are they still kind of standing?
We got
strong?
Brady, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Josh Allen, Stafford, Rodgers. Tight end, we got Cook, Fant, Hawkinson, Hurst, Hooper, Gesicki. I mean, they're starting to come off a little bit.
Yeah. Ugh.
You feeling the tight end here?
I mean, if you don't get one of those four up top, I think you're kind of really throwing a wild card. I think Noah
I
Fant
like.
had a big year.
You like Fant?
I like Cook too. I like them both.
We'll just take top rated guy at the time.
Top rated guy. That works for me. I mean, Fant's in that offense where you don't really know what's going on with Drew Lock yet, so it's kind of sketchy. But I
the unknown could blow up, could not blow up.
Correct.
I don't know yet. No, I'm not the biggest fan. I think he's a little bit one dimensional. That's me.
Yeah.
But I do think Hawkinson's definitely well, those were the two. They were teammates there, Iowa State.
Right. Yep.
I definitely think Hawkinson's by far the superior athlete of the two. So if I had to decide between Fant and Hawk, I'm taking Hawk all day long. So
that's fair.
All right. I'm surprised. There's a lot of auto draft teams at this point.
Yeah.
Which is to be expected, but it's not all auto drafts. So
you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 or 6 people still in. So you got drafts still in.
Who we got for quarterbacks now? No quarterbacks have come off the board. I think we're looking pretty good. I think
the thing with quarterback is
I think the cutoff point is probably around. Well, Cam's sitting there at 162. Surprised Tannehill's there. Well, even Goff, he's there.
Mayfield.
I think so. I'd be happy with any of these quarterbacks. With Goff as kind of the cutoff point, but even Cousins he played admirably too, though. So
Cousins was kind of like that average, and every once in a while he'd throw in like a 12. And every once in a while he'd put up a 30.
Mm-hmm.
You almost got to play like a matchup with an extra quarterback with him sometimes.
I think we just gotta start building some depth, unless you want to go with a quarterback here.
I don't necessarily think we need to rush on a quarterback at this point. You didn't if you don't get probably not
right. Shepard just went off the board. We're looking at Deontay Johnson, Kurt Tate, Ruggs, the new rookie there, Preston Williams, Slayton, John Brown. I think we should probably go with a receiver just because we're starting to get down there a little bit on the receiver.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But real quick, what are we looking at for running backs if we want to? Zach Moss.
Zach, there's my boy.
What do you think, as a Bills fan? You think he's going to be getting some touches?
I think he will, but
let's do it then, because I'm not really in love with any of these.
Any of those other guys? Yeah, me neither.
I mean, you got some solid quality, and I mean, Sony Michel. He could be a touchdown monster in that offense there. God forbid something happens to Delvin. Well, maybe we should think about taking out Alexander Madison as insurance for Cook coming up here.
Actually, yeah, that would probably be
that
would be a good move on our part with drafting.
Probably around that time we should do it too. So tops on the board is Fant. There's those tight ends. Stafford.
Maybe wait. You might be able to get him in round 11.
You think so? You think we wait one more? So
I think so. He's 130. That's right around, at this point in the draft.
So who else would you go with? You got anyone that you're in love with, rather than getting our handcuff for a first round draft pick?
Not really, honestly.
So I think about like this: if Cook gets hurt,
you might as well take it. Take
Madison would be way up on this board if
if
Cook
Cook was
would get
there.
hurt. So
Yep.
hey, we got a good insurance policy now. So I think we are pretty good on running backs. By no fault of our own, we have ended up with 6 running backs on our team so far.
Oh yeah, we don't need any more of them.
Surprisingly, I thought we took more receivers than we did, but we didn't. We only have 3 receivers.
Yes, that's why I was thinking maybe a receiver in that last round, but I'm not really totally in love with any of them at this point.
Well, this is kind of where your research and your gut feelings come in on players, because there's a good player somewhere in this draft. You just gotta be the one to find it. This is kind of around where like the Lamar Jackson was found last year, or the Darren Wallers.
Yep.
Or
there's always your draft.
Someone
one in those middle rounds.
Someone's out of all these players I'm scrolling through right here. Someone's gonna break out. You gotta be the one to find them.
You gotta get the right pick.
All right. Do we go with the receiver, or do we finally take our quarterback? Now we're around 11.
I was gonna say we probably should be looking at a quarterback at this point.
Oh, hey, we got Rodgers on the board.
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers all right now.
Hey, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd be getting Aaron Rodgers in round 11. But
that is absolutely. I don't know
here we are. Here we are.
And now we're officially in auto draft mode. There's a lot of teams in auto draft mode.
So, Cooper, Gesicki. I mean, do you think we should go with a backup tight end?
Yeah.
Or just go with some receivers? I mean, for receivers.
I would say we go to receiver. We need receivers. We don't have any receivers, really. We got to
go
there.
Fitz has always been true and tested.
And now he's got Hop down there with him to draw that number 1 away. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, take him.
I like it. Sammy, though. Sammy could be good in the right situation, but he's
Sammy.
He really drops the ball sometimes.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at some of these rookie receivers now, and this is kind of like throwing a dart just at the board. Like, you don't know which of these receivers are going to blow up, and usually it takes the receivers a couple of years to really come into their own.
Yep, this is like one of those late night dart shots at a bar.
What about Alshon? I'm surprised he's so low. I mean, I don't think they really added too many receivers in Philly, did they?
They've only got him projected at 96 points right now, so something.
I know. I think, he's still hurt, I believe, so.
That would make sense.
What about someone like a Cole Beasley?
Cole Beasley could be a big-time wild card because you got all that.
Yeah, he's kind of like
Brown and Diggs.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Cooper Kupp a little bit. He's like a poor man's Cooper Kupp.
For the first time in my life since I could actually make decisions, I can say the Buffalo Bills have a lot of weapons, which is strange.
Mm-hmm. For running backs, we're looking at, McFarland, Justin Jackson, Josh Kelly, Jerick McKinnon. Kind of just like some handcuffs here. What do you think? Should we go with another receiver here?
We really only have 4 technically.
Pittman, Watkins, Jeffrey Campbell, Brandon Ayuk, Denzel Mims.
You probably couldn't go wrong with a Watkins here. That's decent value.
Sure. Sure. They're paying him. They're paying him a lot.
Yeah, they're paying him a lot. He's their second guy essentially. You know?
What about defense here soon?
Ooh, maybe. Oh, darn.
They just want, but there's still some good ones on the board potentially.
Ravens
just want.
Time for those defenses start going.
Yep, Colts have an upcoming defense. Broncos have always been pretty good. Bears they were the best defense in the league 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Saints aren't bad. Vikings have always been pretty good. Who are you thinking, man? Or just wait another round.
You could just, at this point, you could wait, kind of.
All right.
But you're gonna take
best player on board. Hey, Justin Jackson, something happens to
Happens to Eckler.
Eckler, we're good. This is
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
that's literally just best player on the board at this point, which
Yep.
isn't a bad strategy to do with
No.
at this round. So the next two picks, they're pretty much our bench is filled out.
Yep.
We're gonna be taking a defense and then a kicker. So
Yep.
unless there's a kicker you absolutely love,
That-
maybe we should just kind of think about a defense then, I guess.
Yeah, I would say let's take a defense. I mean, I don't really like.
It depends. I mean,
Yeah.
if there's a true kicker on like a prolific offense, like
Bucker.
Kansas City's gonna have pretty good offense. New Orleans is gonna have a pretty good offense. I mean, yeah.
And I mean, right now, looking at your defenses, there isn't any of those top stud defenses left on the board.
And you can always get away with streaming defenses if you really wanted to. You can get away with streaming kickers too. So, I mean, this is kind of a wash. It doesn't matter like whether you take the defense first or the kicker first. I mean, you can get away with streaming and it works just fine for you.
Yep. Agreed.
Just play, especially in a 12-man league. I mean, you should have your pick of like 24 different defenses and 24 different kickers basically to choose from. So, we got Bucker. We'll go with him just because.
Yeah, take Bucker.
Yeah, why not? And we'll go with a defense.
Teams have already took a defense at this point.
Yeah. So at this point, it don't really matter too much. I mean, there's some solid defenses still on the board.
Even that Jet D isn't going to be terrible. I mean,
no.
Chargers defense was actually pretty good last year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
I'm gonna just go do a little bit of a callback to the days when they were a dominant defense, and I think they're gonna get back to there sooner rather than later. I don't know about this year, but they'll be back there. We'll go with the Seahawks.
Seahawks, all right.
Yep. Fair. We'll be back. Pete Carroll is a defensive whisperer, so
yes, he is.
He knows what he wants. So here's our team. I'm not sure if it's going to give us a chance to look at it, but we got quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Our running backs are Dalvin Cook and Justin Jacobs. Our receivers are Thielen and Ridley. Tight end is Jared Cook. Our flex is Kareem Hunt. Defense is Seahawks. Kicker is Butker. Our bench is Stephon Diggs. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
So here's our team. Yep. It's a little bit different. I'm going to stick to the left over here because it's still easier. So on the bench, we got Diggs, Kerryon Johnson, which I thought was pretty good value for where we got him at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zach Moss, I think he should be getting some touches in Buffalo from the get-go. And if anything ever happens to Singletary, I mean, he could be the man.
Yep, he would be the man.
So I think we got some good value on him. We got our handcuff for our first-round draft pick. Anything happens to Dalvin Cook, Madsen's definitely going to be the man there. So I'm glad to get the handcuff on him. Larry Fitzgerald, he could be seeing some solid targets there. It's not a bad late-round pick. Even when so I wrote Larry Fitzgerald off like 4 years ago. I was like, he's like 36 years old at the time. I was like, this is the year. This is the year he's done. And that was 4 years ago. And he's done nothing but probably catch about 350 balls since I wrote him off 4 years ago. So he's still going to get his. Sammy Watkins, not bad for that late of a pick. Could be more of a name than anything else. Maybe we got duped in by the name Sammy Watkins and his draft status, but
but I mean, look at the way he started out last year. Don't get me wrong, he was terrible. But he started out as the number one receiver after the first 3 weeks.
He shouldn't be starting for us unless the worst happens. The worst happens. So, and then we got Justin Jackson, another pretty good late round sleeper, just in case something happens to Eckler. I'm pretty happy with the team. I think we did pretty solid. Not bad for our first go around.
For the first go around and not looking at anything and just flying in by the cuff. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. All right.
And let's mention real quick that we got Aaron Rodgers in round 11, I believe it was.
Now LaFleur is going for a run-based system.
I understand that.
But he should still get his though. So I'm pretty happy with it. Being a Packer fan, I'm probably a little bit more partial to Rodgers than most.
I mean,
But
I have no partial to him other than he's been a very good fantasy quarterback for me over the years. And yes, he struggled a little bit last year, but I think he's still definitely got some value,
sure
especially
does.
especially in round 11.
Well, guys, I thank you for enduring through another podcast of mine, and I hope you found it just as enjoyable as I had doing this with you. I'm sure Ryan had fun doing this as well, and if you have any suggestions on what strategy we should go with next, let us know in the comments below. We'll certainly take that into consideration. We'll be more than happy to come to you throughout the off season here and come up with multiple different draft strategies and see what happens, as well as making adjustments to the rankings as they come about as well. So thank you guys for supporting our brand. Thank you for supporting Context Gaming, and until next time, you guys.
Thanks for having me.